All
All
right.
right. So nice to meet you, Mr. Dropsoap. I
Nice
think
to
what
meet you.
first and foremost off the record, I think what you're doing is very admirable.
Of course,
It's
yeah.
something that the
It's a big leap. Not a lot of people will take, and I have heard there's other wardens in the running. Not really running, but they've tried and they're trying. I will let you know from what I've heard, they're both lawyers, and while they do have that law experience, they don't have physical in the jail experience like I do. Also, lawyer is a full-time job. You can't do both, right? You can't balance both. It's impossible. You know what I mean? And this is going to require someone's full
sure.
attention, and definitely needs the background for sure.
Okay, you mentioned that you have hands-on experience. What's your background?
Yeah. So for 2 years, I was a correctional officer, well, deputy for my local hometown jail, and I was promoted up to a sergeant. I dealt with a lot of inmate management, staffing, training, etc., curriculums. Um, I'm up to date on all the current and up and coming legislative changes to the correction system. And I'm talking like a full, federal level. Obviously, local is different, but I got the experience hands on and in the office. So
Okay. What do you feel is your strengths when it comes to your counterparts aside from the hands-on experience?
my strengths is definitely the authority figure. I'm really strong believer in when you put on the public uniform and you're serving the public, you need to represent the public and yourself. Um, I've noticed a lot of cops in the city. Um, they're not held accountable. I've seen a few bigger ones in my time here, and I'm not saying being big's bad, right? But you need discipline, right? And they're some of those guys, those big guys, they can run all day, right? And I respect that. It's not about what you look like, right? It's about being able to address the public in a manner which not only represents yourself, but the county, the city, the state, right? So I'd say that's my big strong suit. I really look to that. Even just addressing myself, right? I'm trying to run for a public servant position, and I think that's very important to have, along with accountability. Um, Everyone needs to be held accountable for their actions, mistakes included, and with running a corrections facility, it's not about just keeping the bad contained, as you would say in quotations. It's more about rehabilitating those who've messed up into citizens that will um, support the society, right?
Sure. No, I think that's good. I think that's greatly said. Now, uh, you had mentioned that some of your counterparts are probably on the less disciplinary side of it. I don't want to name names in particular, right? We want to keep names out of it, but we'll just let the people know who's running and who's not running, right? But at the end of the day, but basically what you're saying is you're going to be able to push aside any kind of I would say bad habits of the other counterparts with it, and just get the job
Well,
done.
not just that. A department like this and a corrections facility, state corrections facility at that, they need a fully attentive person to supply to the demands and requirements of the job. We don't need some part-time cook it up and at them, right? We need someone full-time on this, just like how the police have their full-time. We need someone that's going to keep it running and not let it shut down after a month or two, right? Um, and you need a good, well-rounded figure, I'd say, for this position.
Yeah, I agree, and not just physically, right?
Right? No, I'm talking like mentally. Um, you know, I think the most important part in criminal justice and corrections in a whole is being able to speak to people, right? And I think that's a big thing. If you can't speak to someone, especially in uncomfortable environments, right? I mean, not the average person could walk into a jail and start talking to everyone, right? You need people that are going to be able to communicate and efficiently and effectively, right? You can't, stuttering, I mean, it's okay, right? But you need to make sure you're authoritative, right? Because people aren't going to take you serious, especially as the government, if you're not upholding rules and enforcing them.
Sure, that makes sense. Now, what would you say to the people that think that the lawyer's running? It's kind of like a conflict of interest.
Right. Well, I mean, I didn't even think about that, right? I won't lie. I just found out there's two other people that have brought up interest to others. Um, yes, it could be a conflict of interest. I'm not going to bash them because I'm not like that. Um, I will say though, like I said, this is a full time thing. I think even if you're not the active warden, you need to still be putting in full time. I've been out, gathering suggestions, surveying the public, you could say, and just trying to meet with everyone. And, just like, so if I am appointed, right, people know me. They know why I wanted to do it and why I'm in there and what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, 100%. Let me ask you one question, and this will be the closing kind of closing question for you. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep it short and sweet. Um, if appointed, uh, what is going to be your first plan of action
First goal.
for rehabilitating? So you want to rehabilitate and not just protect the bad, like you said earlier.
Right. Right.
And what is your first thing
So
on your agenda?
So obviously, first thing would be staffing, right? This place needs staff, so a lot of recruiting and hiring events. From there, we'd have to train them up, right? And this stuff takes time, so it's not going to be, a weekend we're going to have the fun stuff, right? But what it leads up to is, there's not a lot to do around here. You can work your job to get time off your sentence, but I'm really pushing for different jobs for one, and maybe a job or two where you go out with a correctional officer or two in a van and you go pick up trash on the side of the road, and your time gets shaved off quicker. You come back and you just get out of jail. Pretty simple.
Outside work detail.
Yeah, right. Outside work detail, so you can see beyond the bars, and obviously those will only be granted to inmates that are compliant and we have a good standing history with, obviously, which will take time to build up, right? Because I'm going in here, I don't know who's been in, who's been out. I mean, I can get an idea, right? But a lot of the times in corrections, you'll find that people that are nice on the outside that have also been in aren't always the best on the inside, right? And I'm talking
Yeah, of
inside the
course.
walls.
Yeah,
So you just got to be careful, and we'll go through evaluations before taking people out, because we don't want the public having like murderers out there, right? But
of
we
course.
also want to keep our options open.
Understood.
So along with different work and better work, games. I was thinking maybe guards versus inmates, basketball or chess tournaments, or dice rolling competitions, etc. Just stuff to keep people busy on their free time.
I think that's a
Uh,
great idea. Now, let
you know,
me. I know it said that was the last question, but this is actually the last question.
yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
With your last name being Dropsoap,
Right.
do you think you'll get more or less respect in here?
So, it comes down from generations, right? I don't know who got off the boat and like, all right, we're the drop soap family, right? I'm guessing it was they were making soap or something.
Uh huh.
It's really an inconvenience that my name just happens to be that, and I'm walking in here to prison. Drop soap. It's a term, right?
Right. Right.
And I don't think I don't think a name can describe someone. In my opinion, it's based off their personality and how they are as a human. Um, a name's just a name, right? Your parents could have named you Jeff, but they chose Ronald, right?
Uh, Randy.
Randy. Sorry about that. Randy, my bad. I thought you said Ronald.
I'm gonna
Sorry.
strike. I'm gonna strike that from the lyric. Okay.
But yeah, they could have chose Jeff. They chose Randy, right? And Randy as a person, you don't make Randy fit yourself, right?
Right.
Like you make yourself fit Randy, you could say.
Right. So
Um,
back to the question: do you think you'll get
mm,
more or less respect?
um I think it will even out. At
Yeah.
first people can be like, "This guy's a joke," right? That's just the nature of the
Right.
work
Right.
environment. I think after time, they'll notice I'm not here to mess around. I'm here to get stuff done and make this a better facility.
Okay, greatly said.
I mean,
And
this coffee cup spilled over here,
right,
unacceptable.
right, right. Do you think you'll be a target for some of the more honorary uh inmates?
Not necessarily.
Like the ones that have
Um,
been here for a long time and
oh, right, right, like the lifers.
yeah, that maybe
So,
take newcomers as property. Do you think your last name's gonna give you some kind of issue with
right.
that?
I mean, it can, but there's ways to de-escalate situations, right? A
Right.
lot of things I believe in when I was working in the jail. Um, I was just a sergeant, right? I wasn't the sheriff of the jail. So
Mm-hmm.
the big thing I really looked at was sit down conversations. Say an inmate had an issue with this officer, and then the boss, right? The jail administrator. We'd sit down in a private room with them and be like, hey, we just want to clear things up. All right. We're not out here to get you. We're just trying to make your time better. And there's just ways to de-escalate. And I don't think a name can describe a person.
I agree. I agree with you. All right. Well, that's gonna be it, Michael. I appreciate it.